So welcome to Pathopulse_Radhika. So today's question is: the patient was diagnosed to have fungal infection by Aspergillus. Biopsy from the tissue showed acute angle branching hyphae and numerous eosinophils. Which of the following helps in the recruitment of eosinophils? So basically the question is, the patient is having some fungal infection. So usually you can have a lot of eosinophils in fungal infections. Okay, so which of the following interleukin is helped in the recruitment of these eosinophils? So to recruit some type of leukocytes to particular site, you need certain substances which attracts that. So this is very important question. So interleukin 5 is the substance which is going to attract your eosinophils. It's otherwise called eotaxin because it's going to attract your eosinophils. So remember, interleukin 5 is going to attract your eosinophils. Okay, so in your fungal infections, sometimes what happens, you can have a lot of eosinophilic material which is being deposited, and you can have something called Splender-Hopley phenomena. Okay, so Splender-Hopley phenomena is seen in fungal infections. That's nothing but a eosinophilic accumulation of substances which you get to see in case of fungal infections. Okay, so interleukin 5 is going to recruit your eosinophils. That you must be very clear. Okay, so next, if you look at the other options, one option I have already discussed when I was discussing about ARDS. Okay, so can anyone remember what is that? So when I was discussing about ARDS, I was mentioning about one interleukin. So what is that? So interleukin 8. So interleukin 8 is one of the most important interleukin implicated in the pathogenesis of ARDS, and this is going to recruit your neutrophils. Okay, so what about the first two options, A and B? So A and B, that was I think a neat question 2 years back. So interleukin 1 and TNF are called endogenous pyrogens. So what do you mean by endogenous pyrogens? Substances which are produced inside your body which is going to cause fever. Okay, so interleukin 1 and TNF are called endogenous pyrogens. Okay, next, if you have something as endogenous, you have something as exogenous pyrogens. So what do you mean by exogenous pyrogens? The lipopolysaccharide of bacteria, that can be your exogenous pyrogens. So interleukin 1 and TNF are endogenous pyrogens. Your lipopolysaccharide of bacteria is exogenous pyrogen. Interleukin 5 is going to attract your eosinophils. Interleukin 8 is going to attract your neutrophils. So when you have a lot of neutrophils, you can have radiating eosinophilic material being deposited in fungal infections. That we call it as Splender-Hopley phenomena. Okay, so now, having discussed this as a fungal infection, let me discuss little bit about fungus. Okay, so when you look at this slide, you see fungus. Okay, so I have put up two slides. So whenever you are looking at fungus, you have to look at two things: the septae, whether they are having septae or not. The next thing you have to look at is the branching. How is the branching pattern? So this helps in categorizing the fungus. So look at these both slides. First, let us look into this. So when you look here, you have slender hyphae. The hyphae are small. You can see some septae. Okay, so small septae you can see. And when you see this branching, all these are acute angle branching. So Aspergillus is a slender fungus which shows acute angle branching. Remember A for A, and they have septae. Whereas now look at this, they are very broad. So you see the thickness, they are very broad and they are branching at right angles. So mucor is one which is having a broad hyphae and you don't get to see any septae. Usually they are aseptae and they have right angle, they branch at right angles. Okay, so this must be very clear. You have to look whether you have septae or not and the pattern of branching. So slender acute angle branching with septae is Aspergillus. Broad aseptate with right angle branching is your mucor. Okay, so this is about a little bit about fungus. Thank you.